from the sun-drenched shores of the Mediterranean to the rugged peaks of the Pyrenees. A story is etched into the very soul of this land, a story of empires rising and falling, of faith and fire, of art that changed the world, and of a people whose spirit is as vibrant as a flamenco dance. This is the story of Spain. Our journey begins in deep antiquity. Long before Spain was Spain, ancient Iberians, Celts and Basques inhabited this peninsula. They left behind enigmatic artifacts and a legacy in the land itself. But the Mediterranean was a highway of civilizations, and soon new arrivals would forever alter its destiny. First came the Phoenicians, masters of the sea, establishing trading posts like Gadar, modern-day Cadiz, one of Europe's oldest cities. Then came the Greeks, and finally the great rivals from North Africa, Carthage. For a time, Carthaginian power, led by the legendary Hannibal Barca, dominated the peninsula, using its resources and manpower to challenge the might of a rising republic across the sea, Rome. The clash of these titans, the Punic Wars, turned the Iberian Peninsula into a battleground. After decades of brutal conflict, Rome emerged victorious. They called this new province Hispania. Roman rule was transformative. They built cities that still stand today, like Merida with its stunning theatre and aqueducts. They constructed an intricate network of roads, uniting the territory. They introduced Latin, the foundation of modern Spanish, and their laws and engineering marvels laid the groundwork for a new society. For over 400 years, Hispania was a jewel in the Roman Empire, producing emperors like Trajan and Hadrian, and philosophers like Seneca. But like all empires, Rome's golden age could not last forever. As the Western Roman Empire crumbled in the 5th century, new peoples swept across Europe. The Visigoths, a Germanic tribe, crossed the Pyrenees and established a kingdom with its capital in Toledo. They adopted Roman culture and, crucially, converted to Catholicism, forging a powerful link between the crown and the church that would define Spain for centuries. The Visigothic kingdom unified the peninsula under a single rule for the first time, creating a fragile but distinct identity. Yet, this unity was about to be shattered by a new force, storming out of the south with a new faith. In the year 711, an army of Arabs and Berbers from North Africa crossed the Strait of Gibraltar. This was the beginning of the Islamic conquest of the peninsula. In a remarkably short time, they swept through the Visigothic kingdom, establishing a new realm they called Al-Andalus. This wasn't just a conquest, it was the dawn of an extraordinary new era. For nearly 800 years, Islamic civilization flourished in Spain. The Caliphate of Cordoba became the most advanced economic and cultural center in Europe. Its capital, Cordoba, was a city of 1 million people, with streetlights, paved roads, and hundreds of libraries at a time when London and Paris were little more than muddy towns. In Al-Andalus, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy reached incredible new heights. Scholars preserved and translated the lost works of ancient Greece, adding their own brilliant innovations. The Great Mosque of Cordoba, with its forest of candy-striped arches, and the breathtaking Alhambra Palace in Granada are testaments to the artistic genius of this period. It was a multicultural society where Muslims, Christians, and Jews, known as the people of the book, often coexisted in a complex but frequently productive relationship, sharing knowledge and culture. This period of lat convivencia, or the coexistence, created a unique cultural fusion that is still visible in Spain's music, language, and architecture today. But while Al-Andalus prospered in the south, the embers of Christian resistance flickered in the northern mountains. Small, rugged kingdoms like Asturias, Navarre, and Aragon began a slow, arduous, centuries-long campaign to reclaim the peninsula. This was the Reconquest. It was not a single, continuous war, but a long and complex process of battles, truces, alliances, and betrayals. Legendary figures emerged, like El Cid, a Castilian nobleman who fought for both Christian and Muslim rulers, his story becoming a cornerstone of Spanish national identity. Over centuries, the Christian kingdoms pushed south, their power growing with each city they reconquered. The tide had irrevocably turned. The year 1469 marks a pivotal moment. Isabella I of Castile and Ferdinand II of Aragon, the Catholic monarchs, united their powerful kingdoms through marriage. This union laid the foundation for a unified Spain. Their reign was defined by three monumental events in a single year, 1492. First, they completed the Reconquista by conquering Granada, the last Muslim stronghold. The surrender of Granada marked the end of nearly 800 years of Islamic rule. Second, they issued the Alhambra Decree, ordering the expulsion of Jews from Spain, a tragic end to centuries of Jewish life on the peninsula. And third, they sponsored the voyage of a Genoese sailor with a radical idea, Christopher Columbus. His arrival in the Americas didn't just open a new world, it unleashed a torrent of wealth that would propel Spain to become the world's first global superpower. The 16th and 17th centuries were Spain's siglo de oro, its golden age. Gold and silver from the Americas flooded the royal coffers, funding vast armies and a sprawling empire that stretched from the Philippines to the Netherlands. This was the age of the conquistadors, like Hernan Cortes and Francisco Pizarro, who toppled the Aztec and Inca empires. The Spanish Habsburg dynasty ruled over an empire on which the sun truly never set. This immense wealth also fueled an explosion of art and literature. This was the era of El Greco's haunting paintings, Velázquez's masterful court portraits, and Miguel de Cervantes, whose novel Don Quixote is considered one of the greatest works of world literature. But the Golden Age could not shine forever. Constant wars, economic mismanagement, and rampant inflation drained the empire's resources. The defeat of the invincible Spanish Armada by England in 1588 was a symbolic blow from which Spanish sea power would never fully recover. Over the next 2 centuries, Spain's power slowly declined. Wars of succession, conflicts with rival European powers like France and Britain, and internal strife weakened the state. The Enlightenment ideals sweeping across Europe found fertile ground in Spain, but they also clashed with traditional institutions. This tension would come to a head with the arrival of Napoleon Bonaparte, who installed his brother as king, sparking a brutal war of independence and fanning the flames of revolution across Spain's American colonies. By the mid-1820s, almost all of its vast American empire was lost. The 19th and early 20th centuries were a time of profound instability for Spain. The country was torn between tradition and modernity, monarchy and republic, church and state. It lurched from one political crisis to another, enduring civil wars, military coups, and social upheaval. This deep-seated division finally erupted in 1936 with the Spanish Civil War. It was a devastating conflict, a brutal dress rehearsal for World War II that pitted the leftist Republicans against the right-wing nationalists, led by General Francisco Franco. With support from Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, Franco's forces were victorious. In 1939, Franco established a dictatorship that would isolate Spain from the rest of the world for nearly 4 decades. It was a period of severe repression, political control, and economic hardship. But after Franco's death in 1975, Spain underwent a remarkable and peaceful transition to democracy. King Juan Carlos I played a crucial role in guiding the country toward a new, modern, and democratic future. A new constitution was written, regional autonomy was granted, and Spain rejoined the international community, becoming a member of the European Union in 1986. Today, Spain is a vibrant, modern, and diverse democracy. From the architectural wonders of Gaudí in Barcelona to the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, it remains a global hub of culture and art. Its history, a rich and complex tapestry of triumph and tragedy, of conquest and coexistence, is not just a story of the past. It lives in the language, the fiestas, the food, and the indomitable spirit of its people. The story of Spain is a testament to resilience, a journey through empires, faiths, and ideas that have shaped not only a nation, but the world. Thanks for watching our journey through the history of Spain. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from our incredible world.